Hey guys, CodySCM here, and welcome back to another episode of the Destiny Club, the show where I take a look at the awesome comments left by you guys, and I respond to them. If you want to see one of your comments featured in next week's episode of the Destiny Club, just leave a comment on any of this week's videos, and I'll go through and pick some of my favorites. Now, before we get started, I also want to say that if you don't know already, Bungie has announced that they're going to be talking about the next threat to us Guardians on Thursday, June the 9th, and we're going to be covering that at great detail as soon as more news becomes available, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, enough about all that, let's get started. Up first, Bacon Fries commented, "I want a trading system in the game." I think that a trading system in Destiny could work, but Bungie would have to design it in such a way to allow the game to not actually be broken by it. Now, what do I mean by that? First of all, I think that players should not be able to trade exotic items ever. Exotics are meant to be special, and I know that 3 of Coins kind of ruined that for some players, but at the end of the day, I think that if players could trade exotics, it would really go against what Destiny is meant to be. Secondly, I think there would have to be limitations placed upon how many legendary items that a player can give and receive each week. You obviously don't want a brand new player coming into the game to receive an entire loadout of awesome legendary weapons and armor from one of their friends, because you really cheapen the experience of Destiny for that new player. Part of the enjoyment of Destiny is that grind to get the gear that you really want. Now, obviously, sometimes it would be great to give, some pieces of gear that you don't necessarily want or need to your friends, but there would have to be limitations placed, maybe like 1 or 2 legendary weapons a week or something like that traded back and forth. Otherwise, I feel like it could really break the flow of the game and take away from what Destiny is meant to be. But I do think that a trading system would really help the game in a lot of ways, so we'll just have to wait and see if it ever turns up. But anyways, thank you for your comment. Up next, Abby Orton commented, "I think a good way to increase both diversity in both weapons and RNG is to have weapon crafting. Red Death was made by a Guardian, so why can't we make what would essentially be our own exotics? We would need to collect actual weapon parts. Pieces could drop from the Crucible, and different pieces could allow for different stats and perks. This could be given a progression system through the gunsmith ranking to slowly make more pieces available to the player through RNG and packages, giving more incentive to test weapons and simply play the available content to create the perfect weapon for you and ranking with boring old Banshee." I think that a weapon crafting system along the lines of what you described would be really great for the game. I think that they could implement it in such a way as to where you would have to go kill certain bosses, and they would have like a boss pool of loot to where certain bosses would drop certain weapon parts. You may go kill Valis Ta'arik for a receiver, or you may have to go kill Sepix Prime to get a certain barrel that you want, and then you could get blueprints from Banshee or something like that. And I'm really hoping that Bungie is taking note of a lot of these fan ideas moving forward into Destiny 2, because I think that a lot of the ideas that the community has in terms of replayability and content are great. So yeah, thank you so much for this comment. So in last week's episode of the Destiny Club, I asked you guys if you could design a PvP mode, what would it be and how would it play? You guys came up with some really awesome stuff, so let's get straight into these. Up first, the Sam Marsden commented, "I'd like to see a Juggernaut style of PvP game mode in Destiny. 8 players. Juggernaut has a recharging overshield and 1.5 times damage. When they're slain, the Guardian who killed them becomes the new Juggernaut. Points would be scored as 50 points for a kill as the Juggernaut and 100 points for killing a Juggernaut. The score limit would be set somewhere around 3,000 and last for 10 minutes maximum, maybe more or less depending on how fast the score limit can or can't be reached." I think this is a great idea, and I would love to see something like this in Destiny. Sounds like a really good time, so good job on this comment. Up next, Michael Bolger commented, "Game mode name Taken. It's like infection, but people who are infected are taken and there are no supers. The weapons that everyone has is an exotic weapon. The weapon changes every game to another exotic weapon. The person who is taken has the stolen wheel shotgun as their weapon until they kill another person. After the match, everyone has a chance of getting taken armor, ship, or weapon. I think this is a cool idea. I think that Destiny could really use some more casual party game type game modes that are less about being competitive and more about just having a good time. And I think that Infection could really do that for the game. So yeah, good job on this comment. Up next, Matt Ute commented Faction Wars. So every month in the Crucible, the factions with the most earned reputation and wins give players some cool stuff. It would be 3 teams of 4 people in a Crucible match. I think this is a really sick idea, and it could really improve how the game feels in terms of factions. It would give you another reason to be a part of a specific faction outside of the, faction-specific armor and weapons. If all of your friends are future war cult, then you have a reason to join that faction and then go do the faction wars and try to, get the extra loot. So yeah, this is a really cool idea, and I would love to see something like this make its way into Destiny in the future. So good job. And finally, Robbie Kucha Gien, I think that's right, I'm sorry if I got your name wrong. Game mode, Melee Clash 6v6. You can only kill with your melee and swords. So this sounds like it could be super fun and also kind of frustrating, but I would love to see a swords only and melee only playlist make their way into Destiny at some point. It goes back to me talking about how I would love to see some party type games come into Destiny to where everything is not so sweaty and competitive all the time. It's fine if you want to go super sweat and use a Mata and, use a sniper with hidden hand. That's cool, but I don't always want to do that, and I don't think that everybody else always wants to do that with their PvP either. So yeah, this would work out great to just have some fun with your friends, so thank you so much for your comment. So that brings us into the question of this video. You guys answer this in the comments down below. I'll go through, I'll pick some of my favorites, and I'll show them in next week's episode of the Destiny Club. If you guys could design an enemy race for appearance in Destiny 2 or the upcoming DLC, what would it be? What would they look like? What would their names be? So on and so forth. Would it be something along the lines of the weird moth guys that we've seen in the concept art? Or like these strange looking rock elemental type guys? What would it be? So you guys think about it, come up with some cool stuff, leave it in the comments, I'll go through and I'll pick some and I'll show them next week. But anyways, that's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button. And if you're new to Destiny Follower, make sure to hit that subscribe button for the latest Destiny news, lore, and entertainment. As always, my name is CodySCM, and thank you for watching Destiny Follower.